Wednesday edition of Bet. Welcome to the Las Vegas Strip. The dapper one is Tyler Fulgham. The slovenly one is Joe Fortenbaugh. Dressing for the Nines or not, we've got a big show for you today. Tim Legler is coming up in just a few minutes to preview Lakers-Sixers. That showdown's coming your way in a few hours. We've got some early Super Bowl props we're going to dive into. And because it's Wednesday, DFFS, the Daily Fortenbaugh-Fulgham Fantasy Showdown.
Boom.
DFFF.
You got 3 Fs in there this time.
Really extending that to the point of confusion, but we'll address that when we get there. A reminder, check us out, youtube.com/ESPN Sports Betting. If you're looking for additional sports wagering content, Tyler and I are on there. A lot of stuff from Daily Wager, especially over the next 2 weeks with all the Super Bowl prop bets that we have got to cover. But for now, it's Wednesday. Let it ride or cash out is the game. I give you a statement. If you agree, you let it ride. If you disagree, you cash out. Simple enough. You got your special pen there?
I am familiar with the rules, and I have the utensils necessary to play the game. Let's go.
Here we go. Let it ride or cash out. There will be a grand total of 0 sacks in Super Bowl 55.
Let's go ahead and just cash out on that bad boy right there. 0 sacks, that is tough. And the biggest reason why, or the analysis that drives me to at least 1 sack, is the mismatch potentially between Tampa Bay's defensive front 4, defensive front 7 if you want to include Levante David and Devin White, and then the Chiefs offensive line, which lost Eric Fisher to injury. He will not play in this game, and got some others banged up, and has been the weakest part of their offense. Not that they've been bad, but they've kind of just been mediocre or average, where everything else on the Chiefs offense is obviously elite. So those things combined, I'm going to say cash out. Mahomes, his toe, it's a turf toe, which even though he's going to have 2 weeks, still may be lingering.
It'll linger.
And then Brady on the other side is a statue in the pocket. If Chris Jones just beats, the opposing guard off the snap, there's nothing Brady can do about that to escape. So at least 1 sack in this game. Why I cashed out?
So I got to be honest. I hate this answer because I agree for all the same reasons, but I don't look nearly as handsome today. So there's really no reason for me to move forward at all.
I think you got a signature hoodie look that I'm digging here.
I'm going to be wearing a lot of hoodies, and it's going to become a thing right up until it gets hot here, and then I'll be pouring sweat everywhere, or I have to bail on the trend. Both quarterbacks during the regular season were outstanding at not getting sacked. Patrick Mahomes sacked only 22 times. That was 22nd most. Brady sacked only 21 times, 24th most. They know how to get the ball out of their hands. But again, the mobility of Mahomes is a concern. Brady's statuesqueness in the pocket. You mentioned Chris Jones, Frank Clark as well. All it takes is a bad snap or a stumble. Or Brady, remember, very smart. If the play breaks down, he might just go right to the ground to avoid the contact. There's got to be at least, you're setting the over-under at half a sack here. I'm with you. I'm cashing out. All right, let it ride or cash out. The Dallas Mavericks have a superstar. You may have heard of him, Luka Doncic, one of the front runners for MVP this season. He's currently averaging 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists on the year. Let it ride or cash out. Doncic will average a triple-double this season.
Let it ride, let it ride, let it ride.
You love this guy. I figured this is where you're going.
Yes, I do. He was the preseason MVP favorite for a good reason, and his season got off to a little bit of a slow start because his conditioning wasn't up to snuff, according to Rick Carlisle. But he has gotten into shape over his last few weeks, and he is balling like we anticipated this year. He's averaging the highest assist rate and highest rebound rate of his entire career. And right now he's sitting at per 36 averages of 28 points, 10.1 rebounds, and 10.3 assists on a career-high 34.8 minutes per game. So just a minute and change below that 36 baseline that we need to get those numbers. I think he's only getting better as the season goes on. I think Kristaps Porzingis helps him take some pressure off the defense, more driving lanes, more opportunities to kick to another great shooter. So, yeah, I think Luka, because they started slow and are going to need him to dominate at an MVP level to get back into the Western Conference playoff race, he's averaging a triple-double this season. Let it ride.
All right, so I went back and forth on this one. I am cashing out for a lot of the reasons you just brought up, right? So it's a career high in minutes so far this season, and he's getting a career high in assists and a career high in rebounds, and it's still not enough to have a triple-double. Still not enough. So that concerns me. Can he maintain this historic pace, at least for his career highs, in order to get to the number? Perhaps. The biggest thing that gets me on all of this is COVID. And it's like such a bummer to bring that into the equation. But COVID at any point can derail a team's win total. It could derail your futures. It could derail your stats for a few weeks. Now, this doesn't say he has to play the qualified amount of games. Right. Maybe he misses a bunch of games, but between injuries, COVID, and all the other stuff that's out there, I would play to the under because it feels safer. But the talent is undeniable.
Undeniable.
Undeniable considering the usage rate and the minutes.
Will let it ride or cash out. Luka Doncic will have an NBA season in his career where he averages a triple-double.
Let it ride.
Let it ride.
Yeah. For the rest of his, what is he, 22 years
22,
old?
23, I don't know.
Yeah, so I got another 10
It'll
years on this.
happen 1 year. You're just saying not this year.
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I would do that. I would definitely take that. Good call. Number 3, the Lakers have played 18 games this season. And LeBron James has played 18 games this season as well. Believe it or not, let it ride or cash out. LeBron will play at least 70 games this season. Remember, it's a 72-game season.
There is the important caveat. I reluctantly cash out on this because, again, he just has to miss 3 games, whether it be for COVID, injury, or rest, which is highly, highly likely. However, the reason I say reluctantly is because we know LeBron James is at this point in his career where he has to kind of find things, make things to motivate himself, a la Jordan, a la Kobe. We saw it in the last game against Cleveland. He misses that shot at the end of the third quarter. A Cleveland front office member applauded a little too boisterously about the miss. LeBron looks back at him, goes, okay, then goes out, goes 9 for 10 for like 26 points in the fourth quarter and daggers all over the place.
He's like Jordan. He takes it all personally.
What was the one thing that everyone guaranteed LeBron was going to do this season? Rest. Because of the short. I think he is in this mode right now where he kind of wants to play every game just so at the end of the year he can look back at everyone and say, see, even at 36, going into now a year where I'm going to turn 37, I can still play every damn game on the schedule this season. So I reluctantly say cash out. But would I be surprised if LeBron goes 72 for 72 given his way he's wired? Not at all.
Yeah, see, this is classic nonsense. You circle cash out and then you make
I'm
the case
officially
for let it
on the
ride.
board for cash out.
Right.
That is official.
With all the argument being up here, it's like, look, he's going to take it personally. He's going to do it, but I'm cashing out, you know. I will cash out with not as much bluster. Again, I hate to say it, COVID makes this a very risky bet. If you were going to be investing in this, you have to consider that sort of angle to this entire thing. One muscle injury could hamper you for 2 to 3 games. And then if you've got a nice little lead late in the season, maybe your MVP award's locked up, maybe it's not locked up. You want to get ready for the playoffs. You want to be at peak performance. I mean, we're talking about missing only 2 games. There's so many variables.
Do you think right now LeBron James has a goal in his head that he hasn't shared with anyone to play every game this season?
I think he has a goal in his head to play a lot of games. Like a lot. Like the opposite of load management.
Right, exactly.
Whatever the like management, like, I don't even know what the
I don't know what the opposite is.
Whatever it would be, that's
But
that.
I agree. I think he's set out on a course this season to look back after the season's done and say, I played more than everyone else in the NBA at age 36.
I'm with you on that. I mean, he's balling. He's defying everything. All right, let's bring in another voice to the conversation. He's one of the best in the business when it comes to the NBA. 10-year NBA veteran, NBA analyst for ESPN, Tim Legler, joining us here on Bet Legs. We always appreciate it. LeBron James now has the second best odds in all the NBA to win the MVP award, behind only Luka Doncic. You picked Doncic to win the MVP before the season started. Based on everything you've seen so far, what's your confidence level in that selection?
Not nearly as confident in Luka's as I was before the season. That team actually has been pretty disappointing when you look at Dallas right now. Really a mediocre team in the West. And I think I'm worried about their chances now looking ahead because they're having a very difficult time managing offense when he's off the floor. And he's going to get 8 to 10 minutes a night where he's not out there. And if that's the case, where's it going to come from? And I've seen it time and time again. He's starting to get frustrated. There is no question he's going to put up MVP caliber numbers. I'm just worried, will the Mavericks get enough wins and be relevant enough in the West to actually win the award? Because this award, as you know, it goes toward winning. And you're going to see guys, there's so many guys that can be in the conversation that if Luka Doncic doesn't somehow figure out a way to get those Mavericks, 10, 12 games above 500 by the end of the year, I don't see how he can win the award. So he'll be a name in the mix, and he may be a first-team All-League player. But the MVP right now, actually, LeBron has more of an inside track on that, I think, than Luka does.
All right, Legs, I'm going to use LeBron James and TYRESE HALIBURTON in the same sentence because, as we just alluded to there with LeBron, second shortest odds for MVP. The rookie in Sacktown, second shortest odds for Rookie of the Year. He started the season at 15-1. He's now plus 280. So where we stand right now at this exact moment, who would you bet, Legs, to win the Rookie of the Year?
I don't think there's a prohibitive favorite. HALIBURTON absolutely is in the conversation, probably the top 3. And this is a little different than the MVP. Because this award really just goes to minutes, opportunities, and production. It's a stat-based award as a rookie. I don't think a lot of people put as much stock in, are you doing it and contributing to a winning team? I don't think that's as important when people vote for this award. So I don't think it matters if some of these teams are going to be sub 500. They went to bad teams in the first place, a lot of these top picks. so you can't expect too much in year one. Halliburton is absolutely in the mix. I think LaMelo Ball, even though he has struggled lately, is certainly a guy that statistically with 12 points, 6, 7 boards a night, 6, 7 assists a night, he has to be in the mix. I think James Wiseman is a guy that every night I watch him, I see an impact, and that is a team that I think is going to make the playoffs in the Western Conference. He's coming off the bench now. Maybe that's a role more suited to their team, but I don't think it's an indictment on how Wiseman played at the beginning of the year. So I think right now for me, it'd be one of those three guys, and it's really a toss-up. It's too early in the season really for have anybody take control of that and seize the lead for Rookie of the Year.
Nets-Hawks square off tonight in a game that could feature 1,000 total points when it's all said and done. Brooklyn is 2-2 since Kyrie Irving returned to the starting lineup. Do you see them as more efficient and more effective when he is not on the court at the same time with Kevin Durant and James Harden?
Well, I actually think their best mix is just two of the three. Whether you want to say take Kyrie off the court or you want to see, Kevin Durant play with Kyrie or just the two guards together, I think any combination is better than all three of them out there at the same time. I just think it's a very difficult way to operate your offense when you've got three guys that are alphas, three guys that all think they're the best option every trip up the floor. James Harden has taken a step back. Give him a lot of credit. He is absolutely focused on facilitating offense and being a playmaker for these guys. So I think 2 out of the 3 works great. Problem is you got to close games with all 3.
All right, Legs, as we look ahead to the ESPN slate tonight, the early game on the East Coast should be a fun one. The two teams atop each conference, the Lakers visiting the Sixers. So far this season, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Lakers have not lost a game yet on the road, and they just had that thrilling win in Cleveland last time they were out. Right now, they are 4-point favorites against the Sixers, who have traditionally been a very good home team the last few years. Would you take Philly or lay the points with the Lakers? Again, 4 is the number right now.
I think I'm going to go with the Lakers right now. Look, the Sixers have had a great start. Joel Embiid arguably has been the MVP of the league to this point. But right now, you're talking about a team in the Lakers that the Sixers haven't seen anything like this. The defensive front line, the size, a team that has been this good on the road, so they're taking a very professional approach to taking care of business when they go out on the road. I think for me, the key with the Sixers is, could Joel Embiid replicate what he has done statistically to this point? And let's just assume that he can. You're still going to need either Ben Simmons or Tobias Harris or both of those guys potentially to play at an all-star caliber level against the Lakers. I think that might be asking a lot. Ben Simmons right now is really struggling offensively, and Tobias Harris a little bit inconsistent as of late. So, look, these are two of the best teams in the NBA, but I really like the Lakers going in and trying to make a statement against what right now represents the best of the Eastern Conference.
10-year NBA veteran, NBA analyst for ESPN, Tim Legler, kind enough to join us here on Bet. Legs, we always appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
It feels as if everyone I talk to likes the Lakers tonight. That's starting to worry me because I like the Lakers.
4 is a lot.
It is.
And Embiid rested on Monday, I believe, so he should be, fully energized, although it's obviously a difficult matchup with the way the Lakers play team defense and having the matchup with Anthony Davis. 4 seems like a lot, and you've always talked about how good Philly is at home, and I know the fans aren't there, but they love waking up in their own beds. They do love that.
Feels like a game that no matter what I bet, I lose. It's one of those. Sometimes you feel like no matter what I play here, I'm going to win. I'm so hot right now. This one feels like whichever way I go, I'm losing.
Well, here's the beauty of it then. If you don't want to wager the game, you can wager on individual player performances by playing daily fantasy basketball.
And that leads us into, what a brilliant segue, DFFS every Wednesday, the daily Fulgham Fortin Ball showdown where we go head-to-head on DraftKings for millions upon millions of dollars. Not really. Not really. You're not allowed to play DFS
right, we can't.
in Nevada for money, but we like to play heads up for
well, here you go. You won last week,
on the roulette
which
table.
We're going to find out in a few seconds. So there's a roulette. There's a roulette chip for you, my friend. Well done last week.
He is far better than me at this. So I finally broken through. So I am 1-2 in our 3 matchups. You're 2-1. I cede to you. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and let us know your lineup for tonight? We have not seen each other's lineups.
Never do.
We are honorable gentlemen. The floor is yours.
Right, and we also don't do any tinkering after we showcase these lineups, unless there is an emergency situation where one guy in our lineup is not going to play.
One of these players gets ruled out, you are allowed to make a change between now and then.
At that position for that price or less, not change the entire makeup of your lineup. So I got a couple of guards with the Denver Nuggets against Miami. Monte Morris and Will Barton, both priced under $500. $5,500 and have a good, safe floor around 18 to 22 points. Jeremy Lamb, I'm putting him in my lineup for the first time this year. $5,100 against Charlotte. Domantas Sabonis might not play. Lamb averages over a fantasy point per minute, so love that. And then a ton, 3 Phoenix Suns. Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, and DeAndre Ayton. Ayton specifically has been a beast as of late, $7,300. Devin Booker is out. That means Ayton gets a 3.6% usage boost, and he averages 0.14 fantasy points per minute more with Booker off the floor. He has to score more. That makes sense.
Yes,
has
he
to
does.
score more. And a great matchup against an OKC team that is 29th in rebound rate and 25th in defensive efficiency against the center position. So I think Ayton's going to have a big double-double. And then Steph Curry and Nikola Vucevic, the other big names. Vuce, a great matchup against a Sacramento team that is fast, doesn't play defense, it doesn't have the bodies to defend him in the paint. And Steph Curry against Minnesota, I mean, that's 50 points guaranteed. He had 53 against them on DraftKings on Monday when the two teams played.
We have made this a 5-on-5 matchup.
5-on-5. We got 3 crossovers.
We love the Phoenix matchup.
Okay.
We love the Phoenix matchup. You and I are just down to 5-on-5. I'm with you on Bridges. I'm with you on Ayton. And I'm with you on the big man from Orlando. So those are out of the equation.
Ooh, wow.
Your boy Darius Garland is where I went cheap against Detroit. Cheap. He's only played 3 games since coming back from shoulder injury, but his minutes are on the rise. Joe Ingles against Dallas. No Donovan Mitchell tonight. More opportunities to put some shots up.
There.
Shooting his career best 51% from
Big
the
hit.
floor. Zion against Washington. Anyone against Washington at any time ever is going to catch my attention. I actually added a 4th member, or I should say, of that Phoenix matchup with Chris Paul. Got him in there as well.
I love this lineup. Honestly, I really do love this lineup. I obviously thought about... No, I'm serious.
Too flattering.
Ingles, I think, is a great play with Mitchell out at that price point. Zion Williamson was in my player pool. I was trying to fit him in, but I went up to Steph Curry instead of Zion. And Chris Paul is a great mid-range play, obviously, with Devin Booker out in a juicy matchup as well. I think it's going to be a close, tight Wednesday DFFS.
I love it. I love it. I'm getting so ramped up for this every Wednesday. So there you have it. Come back tomorrow. I'm not sure what time we're on. We're a little bit later tomorrow. I think we're 5:30 Eastern.
Yeah, I think so.
2:30 Pacific tomorrow.
Yeah.
Come back
Very
to
good.
find out
Very good.
who loses and watch that individual get mocked in front of the entire world. All right, Super Bowl MVP odds. We got a lot of props that are starting to roll out here at Caesars William Hill in Las Vegas. Player props are dropping all over the place. So starting tomorrow, we're going to be rolling out a ton of that stuff for you over the next 2 weeks to get you set for the Super Bowl. But Super Bowl MVP odds on the board. Here are your top 5. No surprise, Patrick Mahomes, who claimed the prize last year, is your favorite. His team is also the favorite to win the game. They are currently laying 3. Tyreek Hill, Travis KELCE, Leonard Fournette, who's become a big part of this offense in recent weeks throughout the course of the playoffs, sitting there at 25-1. Let's start with this question.
Yeah.
You can have Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
You could have Tom Brady.
Right.
You could have the field. 3 options.
Right.
If those 3 options are the only 3 options,
Right.
what are you doing?
I'm going to take the field.
Really?
Yeah,
Against the quarterback?
I am going to take the field against the quarterbacks, but just because of the value I get on the field versus those quarterbacks. For instance, we saw that KELCE and Hill were 13-1,
Yes.
Fournette 25-1. Those are great odds as opposed to the 2 quarterbacks. And think about it this way, like, there's very likely scenario, like, imagine the game we saw earlier this year, where Tyreek Hill has 200 and something receiving yards in the first half.
That was the Bucs
quarter.
game.
It was against the Bucs. If Tyreek Hill has a similar performance against the Bucs, I mean, Patrick Mahomes had to throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns to overcome that individual receiving effort. So I would take the field. Obviously, it's more than likely going to be one of the quarterbacks if they play to their normal standard. But I like the value of some of these because if they do have big games, guess who Mahomes is throwing to 75% of the time? Mahomes or KELCE. And another thing with Leonard Fournette, and I'll get to in a second, great leverage off of Tom Brady for attacking a Kansas City defense that's weakness or weaker part of their defense is their rushing game.
Tied for 24th
Rushing
in
defense.
opponent yards per rushing attempt, and you know the Bucs want to do exactly what they did against Green Bay. They want to be able to run the ball. It didn't look pretty on first down, and everyone complained, why do they keep running on first down? What does it matter? They won the game. Like, they literally controlled that game the whole way. The game plan was very good. I would take Mahomes. Not sexy at -120, but it comes down to this. I think Kansas City wins the game, and I don't think there are many options in a Kansas City win that include players other than Mahomes carrying them. Occasionally, we'll see defensive players rise up. That could be big. I don't see that happening for Kansas City.
Right.
I'll get to one I like for Tampa Bay in a minute.
Right.
But if Kansas City's going to get it done, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. Last year, it should have gone to Damian Williams. Damian Williams should have
he
won
was
the
great.
award,
He was great.
and he didn't get it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
a good point.
quarterback's award. They've
Agreed.
won 30
Agreed.
of 55. And I say 55. This is Super Bowl 55. We had one co-winner. Any idea when that was?
Yeah, it was a couple of Dallas defensive linemen, I believe, in the 70s. Danny White and Ed Too Tall Jones?
Randy White.
Randy White, sorry.
Very
Danny
good,
White's
very
the quarterback.
close,
Danny White's
though.
the quarterback. Randy White and
Harvey Martin.
Harvey Martin, okay.
Super Bowl 12.
I remember as a two Cowboy defensive linemen that won it.
Nicely done. Nicely done. All right.
Danny White's
so,
now the new athletic director at Tennessee.
Tennessee. Well,
There
Phil
and hired
Fulmer's
Josh
out of the
Allen.
way.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity there now. All right, so
Randy.
here we go.
The man.
You're the field. I'm Mahomes. Give me a long shot. If you're going to take a long shot, what do you think?
It was Leonard Fournette on there at
Playoff
25-1. Playoff Lenny obviously has been great, and it's leverage off of if Tampa Bay wins this game, it's leverage off of Tom Brady and the passing game. If they win this game and Fournette, who now has established that he doesn't come off the field. He's the 3-down back. Ronald Jones is just strictly used as a change of pace running the football. He will never catch a pass. Ronald Jones is just not going to do that. Leonard Fournette can have that dual threat game that we saw from Damian Williams in last year's Super Bowl. He could have a couple of rushing touchdowns, also catch 6 balls for 70 yards, take a screen a big way. So he has paths to producing a lot of yardage and then touchdowns. Just this postseason, he's averaging more than 100 yards per game of total offense. And he scored a touchdown average, 1 per game this postseason, 3 in 3 games. So Fournette at 25-1, leverage off the passing game, which is going to get so much attention from everyone else because that's the way Brady and the Bucs, Mahomes and the Chiefs do things. But at 25-1, that's a great return on investment.
He had a lot of targets against Green Bay, and I'll say that I love this story. I love the fact that he's finding his way back. I mean, when he was at LSU, he looked like a lock to be an incredible running back.
Right.
Things were hot in Jacksonville, then they went cold for a little bit, and now we're seeing him as a playmaker again. It is nice. If I'm going to go long, I'm going from way downtown. Jordan Whitehead, Tampa Bay safety, 125-1. I'm still bitter. Denver versus Seattle. I had Cam Chancellor at 80-1, and Chancellor probably finishes second because it's Malcolm Smith who had the pick 6 in that game. Chancellor had a huge game. I'm still upset I missed that at 80-1. I would take a shot here. Like I said, Kansas City's path, I see it being Mahomes. Very, very unlikely anyone from the outside. But if Tampa wins, I could see it because the defense makes some big plays against Patty Mahomes.
For sure.
Jordan Whitehead playing safety is going to be lurking in the secondary. 1 pick 6, 1 key tip pass, maybe a sack, maybe a big tackle. Before you know it, that could be a guy late in the game that has his name in consideration. So if I'm taking a shot, I'm going deep. I'd be looking at, Devin White and also Levante David are 80-1.
Yeah, there's
80-1.
I like going to those long shots on the Tampa defense because that matches a narrative that would feed if they win. And the defense has to do something special, extraordinary to shut down Patrick Mahomes or limit Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and that offense there. There's another one that I'll throw out there just because I'm a big fan of the Lizard King. Sammy Watkins should be back, 80-1. And he, like Leonard Fournette, he's been just meh during the regular season with the Chiefs. In the postseason, Sammy Watkins has had some really good games, including the Super Bowl last year against the San Francisco 49ers. I think he's 80-1, so just another one to consider at the really long, deep, long shot.
All right, time for a little installment of place or pass. I am going to read off 4 wagers. You're going to tell me whether you would place that wager or whether or not you would pass on that wager. All Super Bowl related. Are you ready?
Fire away.
All right. The first score of Super Bowl 55 is a Kansas City field goal at plus 450.
Yeah, I'm going to pass.
$100 wager, if it wins, would return $450 in profit.
Pass on that. Pass on that. The value is just not good enough, especially since there's no guarantee that the Chiefs have the ball first. And then if they do, more than likely, you're going to bet on the Chiefs Harrison Butker over Patrick Mahomes. Like, that's just wrong. That's criminal. That's wrong. So no, if it was maybe like plus 900,
it's more moral than analytical.
Exactly. And this is an ethical decision that I'm going to make here. So no, I'm not going to do that. If it was maybe plus 900 or 10-1, okay, there's enough juice on that, enough value that I'd be real. But 4.5 for every dollar I invest. No, that's not enough.
I am with you on that. I will pass as well. Kansas City ranked dead last in red zone defense this season. Tampa Bay ranked 19th. So if we're talking about needing a field goal, these are not the defenses that really step up to the plate inside the 20 yards. I would lose if, in this situation, the safety comes into play, all this stuff.
Yeah, right.
First score's got to be, there's so many different ways you can lose here.
Yeah. Too many other outcomes that are just as probable or more probable that this doesn't have enough candy, as our buddy Doug Kazarian likes to say on it.
I think that's the best way to look at it. All right, I'll lead us off on this one. Place or pass number 2. Chiefs tight end Travis KELCE scores a touchdown, and Kansas City wins the game plus 140, meaning $100 wager returns $140. You love these combinations.
I love them.
I am passing on this one. I don't feel ultra confident about it.
What
I am
part?
placing this. I am placing.
I was going to say, what?
I'm placing. I just found out. I'm looking at place. I have pass, place, pass, place. I'm sitting right here for place.
Well, you just gave
I'm
away
off
the
on
rest
this
of the nice
Oh,
teas. You gave
yeah.
away the rest of the segment.
Not sure how we're going
Okay,
to close
I was
going to
say, what part of this, which half would you be passing on? But
It's the
you're
next
clearly
question.
not passing.
It's the next question that has
placing.
me passing.
Well, just go ahead and throw mine up because we're in agreement here.
Yeah.
I'm going to place this as well.
Hammer it. Tell me why.
Okay, so the Chiefs money line to win the game. Okay, just to win outright. Money line for the Chiefs, minus 165 at last check. Travis KELCE has scored a touchdown in 7 of his last 8 games played, and that's 8 total touchdowns over those 8 games. He scored in both playoff games the Chiefs have played this season. So I believe the Chiefs are going to win. I would lay the 3 with the Chiefs anyways, but Travis KELCE, if the Chiefs win, is likely to score a touchdown. I think more than 50% of the times you play this game, KELCE finds the end zone. I think more than 50% of the times you play this game, the Chiefs beat the Buccaneers. So it's
Good
basically
logic.
a money line bet because KELCE's almost a slam dunk to score the way he's been playing. And it's a money line bet on the Chiefs at plus 140 as opposed to minus 165. Yeah, I'll take that.
The Buccaneers have given up 9 touchdowns to opposing tight ends this season, which ranks tied for 7th most in the NFL. So tight ends have had success, and the total in this game is 56.5.
Yeah,
They're telling you they expect it to be high scoring. Maybe that will feature one of the guys who always finds the end zone in Travis KELCE. All right, place or pass number 3. Let me get organized here so I can actually give you the right notes. No turnovers will be committed in the Super Bowl at 13-1. Now, you just took a shot on
I
this
did.
in the NFC title game.
And boy, did that blow up in my face. Brady.
Well, look, as soon as the first one happened, you might as well have 30
Well,
of them.
exactly. That's a good point. Once the floodgates open, you might as well. But I like this bet again.
Yeah.
I'm going to place it
All right.
at 13-1. I think that's really good value on so you can just throw a few bucks on and get a nice return on investment. Look, the Bucs only lost 6 fumbles all season long. They take care of the rock. Brady had a few interceptions, but that has come down as of late. He's been much better taking care of the football, not staying in the pocket, forcing things downfield, although, again, we saw that in the NFC title game. Patrick Mahomes, 82% of the games he's played this season, 0 interceptions thrown. So at 13-1 here, 2 quarterbacks who generally take care of the football, 2 teams that generally take care of the football. I just think it's too good of a value to pass on. I'll place it.
I like the fact that you're taking the shot. I'm going to pass here at 13-1. The interception analysis is fantastic. I think there would be a fumble.
Yeah,
I'd go ahead
right.
and predict a fumble. Remember, Tampa Bay comes flying in. Peanut Tillman punch.
They are good at it.
constantly ripping.
Your boy
This is
Jordan Whitehead.
Yeah.
He's good at that.
This is a game with a lot of nerves. A lot of guys come out. Some rise up to the occasion, some do not. We saw with Buffalo last weekend. It was like too much for the big stage. Now, Kansas City's been here and Brady's been here, but all it takes is that one guy on a punt return, a kick return, just one bad play for this to go south. If you want to play some long shots, the Super Bowl prop betting market has so many great long shots. This would be the one that I would pass on, but I can see why you're going with it. You at least have 2 quarterbacks who are smart with the football. Place or pass. Number 4. Over 27.5 points scored in the first half at minus 110. I will place this wager. Both teams rank in the top 5 in first half scoring this season. Tampa Bay ranks 21st in first half points allowed. So you've got 2 teams that are very good at scoring points in the first half. You got a Tampa Bay defense that, as good as they are, have struggled defending in the first half. Ultimately, I will go ahead and place this wager. 2 great quarterbacks who can lead the 2-minute drill at the end of the first half.
I will place as well. And here is my analysis. I mean, I can't bet against Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes collectively delivering points in a Super Bowl matchup. You're a special kind of sicko if you bet the under. And I will say this as well. What's simple math here? What's the total of this game?
It is about
57?
56.5, 57.
Okay, so what's 27.5 times 2?
55.
So that's under the total. So you're getting kind of a discount in the first half based on what they think the total is going to be. If they think the total is 56.5, 57, then you're getting the lower end of that here with 27.5 in the first half. So I'll go over this again. Brady, Mahomes, and a little bit of a discount based off of the total. Sign me up.
And how good do these teams look off their script? Tampa Bay went to Green Bay. They had their play script to start the game. They went right down the field, scored. It's not like Kansas City's an elite defense. The elite defense is Tampa Bay, and they're going against the best offense
right.
in the NFL. So
Agree.
there you go.
Agree.
with you on
I'm
that.
placing that. So 3 places and 1 pass for me.
Yeah.
Did you get yourself situated and together?
I don't know. These notes, get them out of here. Get them out. It was so simple. It's laid out so obviously. And I stared at it. I saw the place and I was like, no, my brain just said, you know what? Pass on that. Let's see how it works out for everybody. Not well is the spoiler. Tyler Foljam, Joe Fortenbaugh, thank you for checking us out today. We are back tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. Prop Bet Spectacular for you. Have a good one.